Elias was a kind carpenter, known throughout the village for his gentle demeanor and exceptional skills. His workshop, filled with the scent of fresh wood and the sound of tools, was a place of creativity and warmth. Every piece he crafted was a testament to his dedication and love for his craft. He lived in a small village nestled between rolling hills and lush forests. The village was a close-knit community where everyone knew each other, and Elias was a beloved figure. The cobblestone streets and charming cottages added to the village's quaint and peaceful atmosphere. Elias loved to help people. Whether it was fixing a neighbor's broken chair or building a new barn, he was always ready to lend a hand. His generosity and willingness to assist others made him a pillar of the community. People often gathered around him, eager to learn from his expertise and share in his kindness. He built houses and furniture for everyone. Each creation was unique, reflecting the needs and personalities of those he built them for. From sturdy tables to elegant chairs, Elias's work was both functional and beautiful. His craftsmanship was unmatched, and his creations were cherished by all who received them. Elias always used his hands for good. His hands, rough from years of labor, were capable of creating the most delicate and intricate designs. He believed that his hands were a gift, and he used them to bring joy and comfort to others. Every stroke of his chisel was filled with care and precision. He was happy to share his gifts. Elias often invited villagers to his workshop, showing them the art of carpentry and encouraging them to try their hand at it. He believed in the power of sharing knowledge and skills, and his generosity extended beyond his work. His workshop was a place of learning and community. One day, a traveler visited the village. The traveler, weary from his long journey, had heard tales of Elias's kindness and hoped to find refuge in the village. His clothes were tattered, and his face showed signs of exhaustion, but his eyes held a glimmer of hope. The traveler was tired and hungry. He had been on the road for days, with little to eat and nowhere to rest. His journey had been long and arduous, and he was in desperate need of a kind soul to help him. The village seemed like a beacon of hope in his time of need. Elias saw him and invited him in. Without hesitation, Elias welcomed the traveler into his home, offering him a warm meal and a place to rest. Elias's home was modest but filled with love and warmth, a true reflection of his character. The traveler was overwhelmed by Elias's generosity. Elias shared his food and gave him a place to rest. The traveler, grateful for the kindness shown to him, ate heartily, and soon fell into a deep, restful sleep. Elias watched over him, ensuring that he was comfortable and had everything he needed. It was a simple act of kindness, but it meant the world to the weary traveler. The traveler was thankful for Elias's kindness. When he awoke, he expressed his deep gratitude to Elias, thanking him for his hospitality and generosity. He knew that without Elias's help, he might not have made it through his journey. Elias's kindness had given him the strength to continue. He wanted to repay him. The traveler, though he had little to give, wanted to show his appreciation. He rummaged through his belongings, searching for something that could convey his gratitude. Finally, he found a small, wrapped package that he had been carrying with him. Before he left, the traveler gave Elias a gift. It was a small, intricately wrapped package, and the traveler handed it to Elias with a smile. Elias, curious and touched by the gesture, carefully unwrapped the package to reveal its contents. It was a magical chisel. The chisel was unlike any Elias had ever seen, with intricate designs etched into its handle and a blade that seemed to shimmer with a mystical light. The traveler explained that the chisel had the power to carve anything Elias could imagine, a gift beyond measure. This chisel, he said, can carve anything you can imagine. Elias was amazed. He had never encountered such a tool before, and the possibilities it presented filled him with excitement. He could hardly believe his good fortune and the generosity of the traveler. He thanked the traveler for the wonderful gift. Elias knew that this chisel would allow him to create even more beautiful and meaningful works for his village. He expressed his heartfelt gratitude to the traveler, who smiled and wished him well before continuing on his journey. Elias's life and work were forever changed by this extraordinary gift. Elias held the chisel in his hand. It was an old tool, passed down through generations of his family. The handle was worn smooth from years of use, and the blade, though still sharp, bore the marks of countless projects. Elias had always felt a connection to this chisel, as if it held a piece of his family's history within its metal and wood. Today, however, it felt different. It felt warm and special, almost as if it was alive. The warmth spread from his hand up his arm, filling him with a sense of wonder and anticipation. He had heard stories of magical tools, but he had never believed them. Could this chisel be one of those legendary artifacts? He decided to test it. He set a piece of wood on his workbench, a block of fine oak that he had been saving for a special project. He took a deep breath, feeling the weight of the chisel in his hand, and prepared to carve. The anticipation was almost too much to bear. He closed his eyes and thought of a beautiful wooden bird. He imagined its delicate wings, its graceful neck, and its tiny beak. He could almost hear the song it would sing, a melody that would bring joy to anyone who heard it. He focused all his thoughts on this image, willing the chisel to bring it to life. He wanted the bird to sing. He began to carve, his hands moving with a confidence and skill that surprised even him. The chisel seemed to guide his movements as if it knew exactly what to do. Each stroke was precise, each cut perfect. He could feel the bird taking shape beneath his hands. To his surprise, the chisel moved on its own. It danced across the wood, carving intricate details with a speed and accuracy that was beyond human ability. Elias watched in amazement as the bird emerged from the block of wood, its form becoming more and more defined with each passing moment. It carved the wood with amazing speed and detail. Feathers appeared, each one perfectly shaped and positioned. The eyes were bright and lifelike, the beak sharp and delicate. Elias could hardly believe what he was seeing. It was as if the chisel had a mind of its own, and that mind was focused on creating something truly extraordinary. Soon, a perfect wooden bird appeared. It was more than just a carving, it was a work of art. The bird looked as if it could take flight at any moment, its wings poised and ready. Elias felt a surge of pride and joy. He had never created anything so beautiful in his life. It was more beautiful than Elias imagined. He held it in his hands, marveling at the craftsmanship. Every detail was perfect, from the tips of the feathers to the curve of the beak. He could hardly believe that he had made it, even with the help of the magical chisel. And then, the bird opened its beak and sang. The song was pure and sweet, filling the workshop with a melody that seemed to come from another world. Elias listened, his heart swelling with emotion. It was a beautiful song, full of joy and wonder. He had never heard anything like it. It was a beautiful song, full of joy. Elias was overjoyed. He felt a deep sense of gratitude for the magical gift he had been given. The chisel had not only helped him create something beautiful, but it had also brought a piece of magic into his life. He knew that he would never forget this moment. He realized the chisel was truly magical. It had the power to bring his creations to life, to make his dreams a reality. He felt a sense of responsibility, knowing that such a gift could be used for great good or great harm. He vowed to use it wisely, to create things that would bring joy and beauty to the world. He knew he had to use it wisely. He thought about all the things he could create, all the ways he could use the chisel to help others. He imagined making toys for children, tools for his fellow craftsmen, and beautiful works of art for everyone to enjoy. The possibilities were endless. He wanted to help everyone in his village. He wanted to share the magic with them, to bring a little bit of wonder into their lives. He knew that the chisel was a gift, and that it was his duty to use it for the good of all. He felt a sense of purpose, a calling to create and to give. He would create wonderful things for them. He would use the magical chisel to make their lives a little brighter, a little more magical, and in doing so, he would honor the gift he had been given, and the legacy of his family. Elias smiled, knowing that this was just the beginning of a new and wondrous journey. Elias began to use the chisel. He carved toys for the children. He carved tools for the farmers. He even carved a new water wheel for the village mill. Everything he carved was strong and beautiful. The villagers were amazed by Elias's creations. They had never seen anything like it. The toys danced and sang. The tools never broke. The water wheel turned effortlessly. Word of Elias's magical chisel spread throughout the land. The mayor of the village was a greedy man. He had always been known for his insatiable desire for wealth and power. The villagers often whispered about his schemes and plots to amass more riches, but no one dared to confront him directly. His mansion stood tall and imposing at the edge of the village, a constant reminder of his dominance and influence over the people. One day, while eavesdropping on a conversation between two craftsmen, he heard about the magical chisel. This chisel, they said, had the power to carve out anything the heart desired, turning simple wood into masterpieces of art and utility. The mayor's eyes gleamed with a newfound greed as he imagined the possibilities. He wanted it for himself. The thought of possessing such a powerful tool consumed him. He could already see himself using the chisel to create treasures beyond imagination, treasures that would make him the richest man in the land. His cunning smile grew wider as he plotted his next move. He imagined all the riches it could bring. Gold, jewels, and artifacts of immense value danced in his mind. He could build grand palaces, commission the finest artworks, and live a life of unparalleled luxury. The mayor's dreams were filled with visions of opulence and grandeur, all thanks to the magical chisel. He could be the most powerful man in the land. With the chisel in his possession, he would not only be wealthy but also wield immense power. He could command respect and fear from everyone, from the lowliest peasant to the mightiest noble. The mayor's ambition knew no bounds. The mayor went to Elias's workshop. Elias was the village's most skilled craftsman, known for his integrity and dedication to his work. The mayor knew that Elias was the one who possessed the magical chisel, and he was determined to get it, no matter the cost. "That magical chisel should be mine!" he declared, his voice filled with authority and menace. He pointed angrily at Elias, demanding that the craftsman hand over the chisel immediately. The mayor's eyes burned with a fierce determination, leaving no room for negotiation. "Give it to me, and I'll make you rich!" Elias was shocked. The mayor pulled out bags of gold, offering them as a bribe. He promised Elias wealth beyond his wildest dreams if he would just part with the chisel. But Elias, though tempted, knew better than to trust the mayor's words. He knew the mayor was greedy. Elias had seen the mayor's greed and selfishness firsthand. He knew that the mayor would use the chisel for his own gain, not for the good of the village. The craftsman couldn't let such a powerful tool fall into the wrong hands. He would use the chisel for himself, not for the good of the village. Elias shook his head. He held the chisel protectively, refusing to give in to the mayor's demands. The chisel was meant to benefit everyone, not just one greedy man. "No," he said firmly, "this chisel is for everyone, not just for you." Elias stood his ground, his expression determined and unwavering. The mayor's greed would not prevail, and the magical chisel would remain a tool for the good of the entire village. The mayor was furious. He stormed out of the workshop. He decided to steal the chisel. That night, while Elias slept, the mayor crept into his workshop. He took the chisel from Elias's workbench. As soon as the mayor touched the chisel, it began to glow. It was hot. The mayor cried out in pain. He dropped the chisel. Suddenly, the workshop began to shake. A giant wooden monster grew from the floor. It roared angrily. The monster burst out of the workshop. It rampaged through the village. It knocked over carts and houses. The villagers were terrified. They ran for their lives. Elias awoke to the sound of screaming. He saw the monster destroying his beloved village. He knew he had to stop it. He grabbed his tools and ran outside. Elias saw the chisel lying on the ground. He picked it up. It was still warm. He faced the monster and shouted, "Stop! This is wrong!" The monster paused. It recognized Elias. Elias spoke to the monster with kindness. He told it to calm down. He promised to fix everything. Slowly, the monster calmed down. It shrank back into a small piece of wood. Elias used the chisel. He rebuilt the village. He made it even better than before. He carved beautiful houses and sturdy carts. The villagers were grateful. They had learned their lesson. Greed only led to trouble. The mayor watched from afar. He was ashamed of his actions. He apologized to Elias and the villagers. He promised to be a better mayor. Elias forgave the mayor. He knew everyone deserved a second chance. The villagers learned that kindness was more important than riches. They learned that true magic came from helping others. And so, Elias the carpenter continued to use his magical chisel. He used it to spread joy and kindness throughout the land. He taught everyone that the true magic was not in the chisel itself. It was in the kindness of their hearts.